On our way to dive the Blue Caverns, our boat encountered a finback whale. Finback whales are second only in size to the blue whale, and like blue whales, are baleen whales. The viz was incredible all 3 dives. Estimates have it in the 80-foot range. The first dive was at Eagle Reef. This is a strawberry anemone. There were a variety of creatures that we encountered, including numerous moray eels. This was a tube worm that I thought was particularly interesting given the dual color of its fan. Another moray. This was a green abalone that I was trying to feed. If you stick a piece of kelp near the abalone, it'll sometimes turn and latch onto it and start munching away. Another eel. Some of these were quite sizable, and you'll see in a few moments 2 huge ones. This was a little banded goby. It's hard to get these guys on macro because they won't stay still. This was just a shot of the beauty of Eagle Reef, and this Garibaldi, the territorial thing he is, decided to get right in the middle of the picture. This is a 2-spot octopus. You can vaguely see the blue ring directly under his eye. This is another octopus. I spotted this guy wedged in a crack. I'm not sure what variety he is. These were the biggest moray eels I've ever seen. They were easily the size of my thigh in diameter. This is the first cave that we went into in the Blue Caverns. This one was around the point and was only about 10 feet down. There were lobster covering the inside of the cave. The cave had 2 main chambers, an initial antechamber that funneled down to a choke point, and then in the back there was a separate chamber. You can see through this choke point here, and the separate chamber was just filled with lobster. I have never seen so many. This is a marine protected area, so you're not allowed to take any of the lobster, but they were everywhere. It was pretty cool. You can see this is really narrow. This is the back room that I was mentioning. As you can see, the floor is carpeted in lobster. The ceilings are covered in lobster. Everywhere you look, there's lobster. They were banging into me as I would swim through. I put my hand down, there's a lobster. This gives you an idea of just how narrow the choke point is, and just how many lobsters there are. You can see JP fitting through, and his body barely fits. I was diving with a pony just in case anything happened, so I had a completely separate and redundant air supply. This was a horn shark that I saw just outside of that first cavern. He was really difficult to see, but for the fact that I basically swam on top of him. This is a giant kelpfish. The visibility at the Blue Caverns was amazing as well. Again, probably 80 feet. There was a substantial amount of kelp, too. This is a set of caves that's about 70 feet down. There's a set of 3 that are north of that lobster-filled cave that I showed earlier. The viz in these caves weren't as good as that lobster cave, because the lobster cave had a rocky substrate, but these were quite grand in their vistas. Absolutely stunning. Being inside of these caverns and looking out was breathtaking. And there's JP waving high. This is the inside of that same cave. You can see there's quite a few lobster in this one as well. Another perspective of the opening. This is a second cave that's just a few yards from the first. It's just as big, and again has a sandy bottom. The viz here was worse than that first cave, or I should say the first sandy bottom cave. You can see a bit of silt in the water, but still, it was beautiful. This is also at about 70 feet. What's kind of neat is that as you breathe, air gets trapped on the ceiling, and it creates a mirror ripple effect. You can see little pockets of it there. Here JP's pointing out these yellow anemones that we see at Farnsworth Bank. This is the first time we've seen them outside of Farnsworth Bank, and like at Farnsworth Bank, they create a yellow wall. These are a school of yellowtail. They're in the jack family. This is a scythe butterfly fish. I finally caught one on camera. This is at Crane Base, and just in case you blinked, here's a still frame to prove that I got it on film.